This right here behind me is the fastest dirt bike on the planet, and it's electric, so we hate it. We're gonna talk about exactly why we hate this bike, the good, the bad, and the really bad. Now, there's people out there, they are purists, and they say that electric is wrong. They say God made gasoline, not electric. But that's not really the way that history sees things. You see, in 1895, the first patent for an electrical powered bicycle was filed. And in 1911, a few years after Harley Davidson came out, Popular Mechanics wrote an article about an electric bike that had a hub motor that claimed to do 35 miles per hour and a range of 75 miles, which is pretty impressive for being over 100 years ago. And not that bad compared to motorcycles in that same time. So for whatever reason, the gasolines kept on going forward and progressing, and electric technology just kind of stayed pretty stagnant for a long time. Until a couple electric motorcycle manufacturers kind of popped in the 2010s, including the Impulse TT, and then also the Zero motorcycle really kind of popped in. A couple years later, Harley Davidson did their Livewire, which the Impulse TT didn't do very well. Zero's doing probably the best out of anyone, and the Harley Davidson Livewire also did not do very well. So then you had a lot of Chinese companies making mediocre versions of not quite a bicycle, not quite a dirt bike, kind of its own thing. You know, Suron, Segway, a million brands doing that same thing, and they were fun, but then Stark came out and said, let's build a real dirt bike and let's kick everyone else's butt. Now you might be saying, what about the KTM e-Freeride? The KTM e-Freeride is kind of a real dirt bike. It looks like a real dirt bike, but when it comes to performance, it's closer to like a 125cc two-stroke. This thing will beat pretty much anything out there. We've not found another dirt bike that is faster than this bike. So let's start off with talking about the good. One, when it comes to design, it's a really good looking bike. It's solid, I think it's sharp looking. Also, they didn't try to make the motor or the battery look like an engine or try to trick anybody. And actually, before we move on with more of the good, let's start from the actual beginning, when you order the motorcycle. So when you order the bike, it's pretty simple, and it's a lot easier than going to a dealership, and a lot faster. First, you choose MX or EX. I chose MX, but I probably should have chose the EX. MX is more the motocross version, EX is more the trail version. I would have been happier with a kickstand. Then you have 3 options for suspension settings, depending on your weight. Lots of these bikes will ship within 24 hours. Mine only take a few days to come in, and watch out for some of the local dealers. I was on the phone with one of them. His out the door price was $800 or $1,200 more than what I could have bought it from Stark, and some places are cheaper than what you can buy directly from Stark. So you can price shop and definitely check that out. Now when it comes in, you get a big box. Now if you buy from a dealership, they put it all together, so maybe that's what you're paying for. If you think it's cool to put it together yourself, which I thought was pretty fun, it also comes with a really cool toolkit that I was pretty pumped about. Like, it was a pretty high quality toolkit. Now it comes with a stand down here. It's an aluminum stand, and to be honest, it just kind of feels a little bit flimsy to me. It's nice. I mean, it's probably the nicest stand I've ever seen, but just kind of the fact that it kind of rocks around a little bit, I don't know. But it's not just a stand, it's actually the charger. So you would plug this into an extension cable. Actually, it's kind of its own extension cable. This comes out 10 feet, and then this gets plugged into the bike right here. It just presses in. When you want to take it out, there's a little button on the bottom you squeeze in, and then you pull it out, and then you pop that guy. So I'm showing you that. I know it looks simple, but I broke it. The first time I couldn't figure it out, and I broke it. I didn't break it, but it all fell apart. The other thing is, when you buy one of these, or if you buy one of these, just buy some new inner tubes. The inner tubes that these come with are junk. They apparently all pop. They're incredibly thin, like way too thin for what they should be. So I love the online buying model. I think it's great. I think it makes something that should be easy, makes it easy again. Dealerships complicate the process, and there's no reason that buying a motorcycle that you could do in 5 minutes should take 3.5 hours. So let's take a look at the specs of this bike, and they're actually pretty impressive. This thing weighs in at 242 pounds, and you could say dry or wet, it's all the same. It's not any heavier or lighter when you charge it or not charge it, and that is 3 pounds lighter than the Honda CRF 450. Now the KTM is, I think, 15 pounds lighter, the KTM 500, but KTM, they do whatever they can to make everything as possibly light as they can. And this battery weighs a lot. It's at least on par with the other 450 dirt bikes. So it has a 6.5 kilowatt hour battery, which those are numbers that you don't normally hear. You're used to horsepower and weight. To put that into perspective, this battery could power your house, the average American house, for about 5 hours. But put that on the trail, it's gonna be able to ride on the trail for about 6 hours of normal trail riding. But if you take it on motocross stuff, it's gonna have full power on a motocross track for about 35 minutes. And this thing has a lot of instant explosive power, which we're gonna see in a little bit. And the coolest thing about this dirt bike is that on your dirt bike, on your motorcycle, you can watch Srkcycles on YouTube, you can check us out on Instagram, on your dirt bike, or you can watch us on Facebook right here. Or, what's that other one? Fishing Clash? This is Fishing Clash. If you like fishing, but don't get a chance to fish as much as you like, but you still love to fish, it's free to play and lets you fish in real world locations. Catch rare and legendary fish and upgrade your rod, gear, and lures while you play. You can even battle your friends while fishing in quick competitions. Over 50 million people already are playing, and honestly, it's weirdly addictive. Download Fishing Clash using the link in the description or scan the QR code right on the screen right here. Use my code Srkcycles, that's Srkcycles, to grab your free $20 reward and exclusive avatar. Step 1, download and open Fishing Clash. Step 2, enter the code in the game. Step 3, type Srkcycles to claim your gift. So the power goes from the battery to the motor to a single speed gearbox run through a 520 golden chain. So the frame is a chromoly steel with an aluminum subframe, and it also runs a KYB suspension front and rear, and they're running Brembo brakes front and rear, also Galfer rotors. Galfer, I don't know how they say it. I always say it wrong. Whatever I say, it's spelled Galfer. That's what it's spelled like. However you say it. So it's got some pretty decent components, pretty high quality dirt bike components on this bike. So you can say what you want about the bike, you can call it a lot of things, you can hate it for a lot of reasons, but what you can't do is you can't call it a cheap or poorly made machine. It's pretty nice, look at this. Forged carbon up here, or some type of carbon. It looks like forged carbon. Got the Stark ring, right? It's a pretty high quality unit. Nothing about the bike seems cheap. It all seems like a very well produced, well built bike. And it's a really fun experience, which we're going to get to in about 2 minutes. What's up, fellas? Pretty dope bikes you guys got here. How fast is that?
It still goes about like 50.
What do you think the horsepower is on it?
It's like 10 horsepower, nothing close to that thing.
I bet you guys can do some pretty dope wheelies on these things.
He can, I can.
One tip, full face helmets.
It's just so hot.
But you know what's even more hot? When your face is laying on the asphalt. Your bare jaw is touching the ground. If you want to hit a dope wheelie, it might make it into the video. Have a good one.
It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, you too.
Says he can't do wheelies, and wheelies.
Yeah, those kids are great. Now let's talk about the bad. So if you're charging this off a 110 plug, it could take between 4 to 6 hours for it to fully charge. If you're charging it off a 230 plug, which not everyone's gonna have available or close enough that you can plug it into, it could do it in about 2 hours. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I can just buy a double battery, I can go riding, charge the other battery when it's off, and then I can switch the batteries. Well, they didn't design it that way. The KTM E Ride was kind of designed that way. You can pop the seat up, yank the whole battery out. This thing is not designed that way at all. For a lot of people, this will be disqualified pretty quickly because it does not fit the type of riding that you like to do. The other big problem is a lot of people are concerned about this is the limited service and support. What if it breaks? What if something happens? What if you gotta get parts? What if you don't know what it's doing? Who do you call? You know, there's not as many Varg dealerships out there. It's still new. And if you call tech support, you know, you gotta deal with tech support. It may be great, it may be off. I really don't know. I have not called, I have not needed to. When you think about something like a Honda or a Kawasaki, there's a Honda dealership on every corner. You know exactly what you're getting into. So this is still kind of unknown in terms of support or whether you even need that much support. Now, issue number 3, sometimes it's kind of glitchy. We've always been able to get it to move, but not always the way it normally gets to move. Sometimes when it sits for more than like 5 or 10 seconds, it goes back into neutral. When you try to get it to run, sometimes it won't do it. So it always seems to end up working, but I feel like I gotta press more buttons than what I think I should have to, or what I thought I did last time I rode it. We've experienced the phone being kind of glitchy. The phone overheating, or the phone just going into like some type of like DOS mode that I couldn't figure out. That's definitely an issue with the phone, but the phone is sold with the bike, so I'm packaging it all together. But I will say, I think the fact that it comes with a phone is pretty awesome. Some could say that this is actually the most expensive phone on the market at $13,000 or $10,900, whatever you paid for it. And it comes with a free dirt bike. If the phone is out or dead or whatever, it tells you what mode you're in with flashes, but you can't adjust the modes. So the way it is now, You can go through the computer and do any of the modes, either 10 horsepower to 80 horsepower. You can adjust all of them. Once it's in there and the phone's there and you take the phone off, you can change through the modes, but you can't adjust the modes inside the program, if that makes any sense. So you don't actually need the phone to ride it or access the modes, which is really cool and easy to do. And all you have to do is just go to the mode button, and then you can adjust it right here by swiping your finger over and then saving it right up here at the corner. Now let's get to the really bad. And that is, there has been some reports of these things catching on fire. Now obviously it's not all of them, it's not even most of them. It's a rare thing. And there's been some videos of these things catching fire. They call it a thermal runaway. And it's where one of the cells got too hot because either the battery got damaged, which is a dirt bike, it's gonna get damaged, or something with the charging, or there's a goof with the electrical wires. And one of the cells starts to heat up rapidly too fast. The cell right next to it starts to heat up. And they all start heating up, and then they're all heating up, and just kind of gets worse and worse until it combusts or catches on fire. It's not going to happen with all of them. It is a rare thing. It's kind of might be the boogeyman of electrical vehicles. Is it really that big of a deal? Yes, it sucks if it happens to you, but it happens with our cell phones. If you look up online, cell phone catches on fire, you're gonna find it happen to someone. Look up RC powered cars. Same thing about drill batteries. I've never seen it happen to a drill battery. It happened to someone. There's a video somewhere of it happening. But if it were me and this was my bike, which it actually is my bike, I would not be charging it inside my garage, under the house, or connected to my house, just as a precaution. But now, let's take it for a spin. I wanna show you guys the huge monster power of this thing, and it is a lot of fun to ride, and something you guys can experience. So let's go take it for a spin. All right, so before we guys take this thing on the test drive, let's do the words of wisdom, which is Galatians 6:2, bear one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. All right, it already timed out. I hate that. All right, so now I'm in the 60 horsepower mode. It's snappy. And other than this, I don't know why else you would really want an electric bike unless you just hate gas. But I think right now at the 60 horsepower mode, it is faster than any other dirt bike I've ever ridden. When we raced this against a CR500, it was beating it in 60. So if you're looking, you're like, man, I don't know if I should get the 60 or if I should get the 80. It's a couple thousand more for the 80. It's just a tune. I'm pretty sure it's just a tune. Maybe it's not. It does throw you off though. You're thinking like, where's the clutch? You want to shift. I'm not used to it. I'm getting used to it. In terms of wheelies, man, it's really hard to beat. They are different though, because you regulate all the wheelie with just the throttle hand and then your rear brakes, no clutch regulation. Here's the question that I have that I want you to answer. What's the big hate in electric motorcycles? And it kind of seems to be like an age thing. If you're older than 30, you hate them. If you're older than 60, you hate them. If you're a kid, you're like, nah, that's cool. Is it because you don't think of it as a motorcycle and it's like an iPhone? And you're like, motorcycles are the opposite. And we all know that guy, or we did, that guy's like, fuel injection, that's crazy talk. If it's a carburetor, I can always fix it and get it home. But fuel injection, you can't fix it. The problem with that mentality is that fuel injection really doesn't fail as much as compared to carburetors do. So is it that mentality that people hate electric? Or has there been some connection with electric vehicles and a certain political party? Something like, you know what I mean? You know that guy who's like, oh, my sister's bringing over a guy and he drives an electric vehicle. So figure out why you think you hate it. Here's definitely the thing about electric motorcycles. You can't really tell me that it's not fun. And I like motorcycles to be fun. I'm not out running and to replace my BMW or my Harley with an electric version of it. At the very least, if something goes crazy with gas, I think I could charge up an electric vehicle with solar. Now you can actually change the regen numbers in the menu to have it heavy or less engine braking. It does actually regen. If you're going down a steep enough hill, you'll see it pop. If it's between like, a percentage point, you'll see it pop up. Now I can also, if you're wondering, I can change power right on the fly like that. I can go from 3 right to 4. And if you're concerned that you might accidentally press that button, you could make all the modes the same thing. 10 miles an hour, except for mode 5 is 40. So it's funny because when you put the bike on alpha mode, it gives you a warning. Like, alpha mode, are you sure you want to do this? And it makes you click yes. It's pretty awesome. Let me see if I can do an alpha mode pull and try to keep this front end down. But if you don't want to keep it down, you could just, at any moment during alpha mode, just give it some throttle and pop that front end right up. Myself being a lover of anything with two wheels, I think it's fun. I also think that it's funny, people critique it in a funny way. They'll be like, well, it's so expensive. Well, I'm not sure what you're comparing it to, because if you compare it to motorcycles that are slower, it's the same price. So there's nothing in the same category as in terms of actual performance. And it's a quality built unit, so I thought it was a pretty reasonable deal. So this week's winner of the Partzilla Superfan giveaway is Robert from Missouri. Our friends at Partzilla are hooking Robert up with a set of new tires and a battery for his 81 Suzuki 550. Robert, I am sorry to hear about your back, but hopefully this will help you get you back on the road where you belong. Keep sending us your stories about the bikes you guys own and how we can help you and how Partzilla can help you give you the parts to keep them running. At giveaway@bikesandbeards.com. Link is in the description right here. We love hearing from you guys, and check out the next video.